You can learn the secrets to Lighthouse success in this simple tutorial. You can download the traceable outline at watsonwatercolor.com free. There's a link below in the description. Here's my outline on watercolor paper, and I'm going to start by masking out the lighthouse and the horizon line with masking tape. What you need is masking tape and a razor blade. Tear a piece of tape bigger than you need. Line the edge of the tape up exactly on the lighthouse, and then rub that edge to seal it. Hold a razor blade along the other edge. Don't dig it into the paper, just hold it firmly and tear the extra tape off. I'm using the bottom of the tape to mask the roof of the building also. With tape and tear, you can easily mask buildings, but just be careful. The horizon is always a straight line. Put your masking tape lined up, and that makes it super simple. First, let's paint the sky. I'm going for a blue sky, so I'm mixing a puddle of blue and a smaller puddle of dark blue. You can use any blue you like. For the best smooth wash, use a big wash brush. Start at the top with a medium blue and paint around the clouds. You can go right over the masking tape. I included 3 clouds, a large, a medium, and a small. Your sky can be anything you want. As you paint down toward the horizon, pick up some water in your brush so that the sky will get lighter as it goes down. Then go back to the dark blue and add some of that to the top of the sky. What you want is the sky darkest at the top of the paper, going gradually down to very light at the horizon. Before this dries, paint the distant horizon line. Mix blue and brown to make a gray color. You don't have to overmix it, just stir it a little bit. Then use a small brush and start at the bottom, at the horizon line, not at the top. Start at the bottom with color, and once again, just dip your brush in the water to dilute the color and paint the top. When you're finished, you can just remove the tape. You don't have to wait for the paint to dry. Masking tape makes straight lines easy. And then dry this well. Next, add a beach color. What is beach color? You could mix up your brown and your blue and add a little bit of yellow. That's your distant land color plus a little yellow. That should work fine. Because sand shows through the shallow water, we'll need the beach color painted over the edge of the water and into the ocean, like an inch or so. The easiest way to get a soft blend between the beach color and the water is to work wet on wet. Go back to the big brush. Wet the ocean with a watery light blue. Then pick up a brush full of your beach color and paint it along the bottom left of the paper. Then dip your brush in the water to dilute the paint and keep painting into the water about an inch. If it doesn't blend well, you can use a Just Stamp brush to soften the edge between the beach and the water. While this is still wet, you can go ahead and paint the ocean. I used all my blue, so I had to mix another puddle, and I'm going with a fairly dark blue this time. For the ocean, switch back to your small brush. Start at the horizon line, and then as you paint down towards the bottom, pick up more water from your water bowl. You want the distant water, that's the part right under the horizon line, to be dark, and the part under the lighthouse to be dark. And then it gets more watery and lighter as it comes into shore, so that some of that sand color will show through. You don't have to get this perfect with the first wash, so don't be hard on yourself. Just move the painting along in the right direction and enjoy painting this sunny, happy day. While that dries, here's an easy way to soften cloud edges. Use a just damp toothbrush and rub, working in small circles around the edge of your clouds. This will soften the hard cloud edge, and it also pulls in a bit of the sky color into the cloud. Clouds aren't as white as you'd think. This is a quick and easy way to make your clouds look more believable. Now that the water is dry, it's time to paint the rocks. I'm using burnt sienna, raw sienna, and black. Your rocks can be any color you like. I'm painting the colors diagonally. I want to keep the top and the left side a little bit lighter because that's where the sun would hit, and I'm adding darker colors toward the bottom. Have fun with your rocks. You can scratch in lines if you want. You could add salt. You could scrape out highlights. I'm keeping these rocks really simple, but I have several other tutorials that could give you lots of ideas. To add shadows to the buildings, you want a gray. That's blue and brown. Wet the lighthouse so it's just barely damp, and paint the gray on the right side. If the color spreads too far, you can dab it up with a paper towel. Just play with it until you get a nice soft gray shadow. Also use the gray paint for the base of the lighthouse and the side of the little building. Last, add a line of shadow under the eave. Oops, I forgot a bit of rock. When the lighthouse is dry, you can paint the roof and the window line. Paint the roof of the house red and add a tiny red chimney on the right. Here's our painting so far. It's pretty but wimpy. It really needs more drama, so let's add more color. Re-wet the water and add in more blue, especially near the horizon and the rocks. Remember the horizontal strokes. Then re-wet the beach and add more color near the edges of the paper. Can you see the difference this makes? Doing multiple layers to build up your colors is a staple in watercolor. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. That's just the way you paint. Last, I'm using some opaque white. This is Bleed Proof White by Dr. Martin. Paint some thin white lines around the rock edges. Paint thicker white lines at the edge of the water. And you can add thinner squiggly lines behind them. This will really give you a wonderful looking area where the water is washing in on your beach. The squiggly lines mostly go horizontal, but they have quite a few squiggles also. You can add a touch of shadow under the edge of the white foam with gray or darker sand color. But don't outline the whole thing, just a few shadows under the rounder parts. I'm also going to use the toothbrush to spatter some of that darker color onto the sand. Protect the rest of the painting with a paper towel. Hold the toothbrush in your fist and pull your thumb along the edge of the bristles. You can also use that darker gray color to add some tiny seagulls in the sky. Don't make them all the same shape. Make each one a little different in shape and value. The darker ones will look closer to you, and the lighter ones will look far away. You can also use white to add more white to your clouds, to touch up your lighthouse, or even spatter white on the beach. I decide to add some splashes up against the rocks, where the water is hitting the rocks. It's a busy day at the beach. Can you hear the seagulls? I hope your painting turns out great. There are many easy techniques for painting watercolor realism. Masking tape and toothbrushes are both good tools to have in your tackle box. Happy painting!